Welcome to Advanblack's YouTube channel. I'm Steve, the service technician for Advanblack. 2021, we got a whole brand new line of products coming out for you guys, but today we're going to start with something that's fairly new to Advanblack, and it's going to be an LED product. That's right, guys, LED lights for the front of your lower fairings. Today I'm going to show you guys how to install the switchback flares from Advanblack. It's going to be this guy right here. This is an LED light that's a switchback, so it's white when it's running, it's amber when it's blinking, and then it switches back to white after you turn your blinker off. So hence the switchback flare. This is going to replace the front piece that's on your lower right now. It's just a little cover that pops out and these pop in. And today I'm going to show you guys how to wire them up on a Batwing fairing and a Glide style fairing. One thing I want to stress at the beginning of this video, guys, is this is electrical. It is all plug and play. There's no cutting wires, snipping, anything like that. If you don't feel comfortable with this, please take it to a certified technician to have them installed. But I'm here to tell you guys, they're very easy to do. Just follow along today or in the instructions, and you'll have them installed in no time. So the very first thing I want you to do is go behind the side cover and remove your main fuse. Never hook anything electronic up to your bike with that main fuse in. So once you have that pulled, we're going to get the camera over here and I'm going to show you how to put these on. Well, the Batwing fairing is fairly simple, guys. It's right here behind the turn signal assembly. You've got an acorn nut here and an acorn nut here. It's a 1/2 inch. You can go ahead and pull this off. When you're pulling this off, it's going to be connected behind there with a little quick disconnect clip. Just pull it out just enough to get that clip out. Sometimes it's on the inside of the inner fairing. You have to kind of weasel it through the hole. Once you get it through there, go ahead and squeeze the tab and unplug it. It's very simple. Now with these lights being able to fit the Batwing fairing and the shark nose fairing, the cables are a little bit long for the Batwing fairing because they plug in down here, whereas opposed to the Glides that plug in up at the top, so it needs a little bit more room to get to those. So on this one, we are going to pull the outer fairing. That way we can zip tie off our extra wire, make sure that we have enough slack in here for when we're turning. And then when we go to the Glide, it'll be a little bit different. So right now, all we want to do is get this assembly off so we can get to that turn signal wire. And usually just get those loose, and then you can turn them by hand. Once you have those off, gently pull this out. Make sure you don't pull it out too hard. Right back here, you've got the wire that I was telling you about, the little quick disconnect clip. You're going to pull that tab and unplug it. The next thing we're going to do is get this outer plate off right here. It's just a little plate that goes in here. It just clips in with a couple of tabs. You can take one of these little plastic dash kit tools. But guys, honestly, if you don't have these, you can get a flathead screwdriver in there. Just be very careful that you don't scratch anything. But you just take it, put it in the edge right there, and pry it up, and that panel is going to tilt out and just pull off just like that. And on the back side, you can see the tabs we just pushed in to get that off. Down here at the bottom, you're going to have a cover plate on the inside. 2 T25 hex head screws right here. These aren't very long. You can just go ahead and take them out. It's just a few threads and let that cover come off. And just go ahead, pull that cover out just like that. Now from here, you're going to locate the left and the right side. It's going to be marked right here on the back with an L. The other one will have an R for the right side. Left side is the clutch side. Setting on the bike, left side. Now if you look back at the cover we just took off, it has these 3 tabs and you have 3 corresponding holes. The bottom inside hole is where you're going to want to route that through. Go ahead and pull it through. Make sure that the wire stays to the bottom of the clip. There's plenty of room in there for both the wire and the clip. You're going to go ahead and hinge it on the inside, turn it, and clip it in. Now I want you to go back up to the top and take the connector that we sent with it. This is just an inline connector. You're going to have the 2 Harley connectors on here and the new connector for your light down here. You're going to go ahead and connect that one to the blinker. Now, this is where your blinker, when we put it back on, that's where that's going to plug in. And before we go any farther, I want you to go ahead and bring this up and plug it in. You're going to push it in, listen for the click, pull on it just a little bit to make sure it's secure. Now we're going to test this light before we go ahead and feed all the wires and tuck all the wires. It just makes sense. So from here, you want to put your main fuse back in. You're going to kick your bike on. Make sure that the light comes on. Hit your blinker, make sure that it blinks, switches back to the white, and then turn your bike back off. From there, go ahead and remove the main fuse again. Once you have that removed, go ahead and pull this back out. You just push in on the little tab, unplug it, and put it back down. Now we're going to move back to the inside of the lower fairing where we took the plate off. We're going to go ahead and put that plate back on. The first thing I do is take this wire over and under the vent over close to near my frame, go ahead and pull the excess wire up and just lay it over your crash bar. Now you can take your plastic frame, put it back in there, just kind of set it there for now until you get your screws ready. I do recommend that you put a little dab of blue Loctite on these screws when you're replacing this. Go ahead and tighten those down. Now our wire is coming out the bottom down here. It's going to go around below the vent mechanism and over to your frame. The included zip ties you can use to go ahead and put that on your frame all the way up. Now once you get this wire tied off to your frame, go ahead and poke it through the hole from the inside out. Plug it in, same as before. Listen for the click. Pull the slack back out. Then you're going to feed these wires back through the hole, which can be a little bit tricky, but they'll go just like that. Take your blinker assembly, plug it back in. Listen for the click to make sure it's connected. You're going to push it back through the hole. Go it up there, go around the blinker assembly to make sure that you're not pinching any wires. Get your acorn nuts back on. Once you get those on, go ahead and snug those down. Now, see all of this slack that we have left over, that's why we're going to remove the outer fairing. Get it up in there, zip tie it off real nice, make sure that we have the slack for turning, and you'll be good. Before you take your outer fairing off, go ahead and repeat that process on the right side of the bike. It's exactly the same over there. Your brake pedal's over there, so it's a little bit harder to get to these two screws down here, but it's not that bad. Just take your time and you'll have it installed in just a few minutes. Once you have both lights installed, we're gonna go ahead and remove the outer fairing on the Batwing. This is very simple. You've got a screw right here, and 3 going across the front of your windshield. So I'm just gonna start right here. We leave the 3 in the windshield so we can be in front of the bike when we actually remove the fairing. When you take these fairing bolts out, there's a short bolt and a long bolt. The short bolt goes to the bottom, long bolt goes to the top. Repeat that same process on the right side of the bike. Now the 3 bolts going across the front windshield, I'm going to take the side bolts out first. We're going to loosen the middle bolt. You can reach up and pull your windshield out then, but your fairing is still secured on the bike with that center screw. Take the center screw out, windshield trim off if you have that. You're going to tilt the fairing forward, unplug your headlight. Now from there, you can reach around to where your wire is for your light and kind of feed it up into your fairing so you can grab a hold of it. Just like that. We're going to take all of the excess. We're going to pull it through. Just make sure that you leave enough slack in here that when you turn, that this cable's not going to get taut and snap. You're going to take your excess wire, use one of the provided zip ties, zip tie it off, and then tuck it in your fairing. You want to repeat that process on the right hand side and then put your outer fairing back on just like how you took it off. Now we're going to switch over and show you how to take the outer fairing off of the Road Glide. It's very easy using some clips that I'd shot previously on how to remove the outer fairings. So if you just had a windscreen on here, you would just remove the 4 bolts on the windscreen and actually just loosen them for right now so you can take the windscreen out. Once you have those loose, you can just simply lift up and out on your windscreen and get that out of the way. But once you get your windshield out of the way, you just simply pull this up and out away. It's just your vent cover right there. You can take that, set it out of the way. And then you've got the actual vent in here, and it's just clipped in with a couple of pieces right in here above the radio, so it's very easy to remove. You can grab the sides and just kind of pop it up. I like to put my finger in the hole here, kind of pop it up, do the other side. And you can see the clips right here. They go in the top of this radio bracket right here. So from here, you just want to disconnect your blinkers down here on the side from the wiring harness. And to do that, you just simply push this down, pull it apart. So that's out of the way. Do the same thing on the other side. Pull it apart, let that out of the way. Now that you have the vent and stuff off, you can reach down in here. You want to get these speaker grills off because there's hidden bolts behind these grills. So you can reach in here just like this, just kind of knife hand it and pop that vent out. Just like that. Get one side, the side and pull that out. You want to do that on both sides. Now we're going to go ahead and leave those 2 screws in there, and we're going to go ahead and remove the blinker bolts. The blinker is going to stay attached to the outer fairing, so you don't have to worry about that falling off. But you want to do both sides. Now from there you have 2 bolts here for your little wind deflectors. There's 1 on each side. Go ahead and pull those. Just want to repeat that. Now the reason why we left the 2 bolts underneath the speakers, there's 1 here in the same spot on the other side. We can kind of get up on the bike, because once we release these 2 bolts, this outer fairing is going to come off. So we can just loosen these, but don't take them out. I'll do that on both sides. Then you can get up on here and kind of put your body weight on it so you can hold the fairing on. Take these screws out. And once you release those, you can just gently pull the outer fairing straight off of the bike, just like that, out of the way. So the only difference on the shark nose fairing is that you actually have to unplug the blinkers to remove the fairing. The wires run from the side blinkers up the inside of the fairing, and they plug in close to the top of the fairing. You have to unplug those to remove the fairing. That's exactly where you're going to plug in your connector that we supply with these lights. Once again, it's just in line, just like we did on the Street Glide. Plug it in, plug your blinker back in. It still leaves you the white cord where your lower fairing LED lights is going to plug in. So very simple, and then put it back together. And anytime that you need to take your outer fairing off, it's all right there handy. Both clips will be right there so you can unplug it and remove your outer fairing. Once again, these only fit the 2014 up lower fairings. So if you want to get your hands on a set of these, jump on over to advanblack.com. You can check out the website over there. And maybe this is the first time that you're seeing an Advanblack video and you're seeing the LED stuff, but we also do the color match parts for the Harley touring motorcycles. Speaker lids, tour packs, stretch bags, extended fenders, fenders for the rear, wrap fenders for the front, of course the lower fairings, inner fairings, stretch tanks, stretch side covers. We have all kinds of stuff. Check out the website because we have a ton of Harley-Davidson colors to choose from. You get the parts already painted, ready to put on your bike. When you order it, we paint it and send it to you. All you have to do is put it on your bike, and we provide all of these videos to show you how to do that. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment box down below, or you can call the service technician number listed at the bottom of the website. Go to advanblack.com, scroll all the way down on any page down there. You'll see the service tech number. You can give me a call, and I'll walk you through it. I'm going to get out of here and get back to work. And until the next video, as always, be safe and keep your knees in the breeze.